Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. Thanks for coming. Before we get started today, I just have a special person and a story to tell. And my friend Ashley here has something she'd like to talk to you guys about. So Ashley, what's going on?
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a mother of three. My youngest is Dean. He's 13 months old. And he was born with bilateral multicystic dysplastic kidneys, which basically means that they didn't develop properly. And he is now going through dialysis, and he's finally big enough to go through a kidney transplant. So we're actively looking for a live donor. I unfortunately am not a match, and the process of trying to find a living donor is a little bit lengthy. So while my husband's seeing if he's a match, we've been highly advised by his medical team at UCLA and LA to get as many people on the active donor list as possible.
Yeah.
This is why I reached out to Josh to see if he'd be willing to share a story and to see if anybody would be interested in donating. So if you are interested, you just need to go on the UCLA kidneydonor.org website.
Which we can put in a link below. Like, she's going to send me the link for that and make sure to do that. I think one of the most important things we can do with a platform that we have, I don't do like GoFundMe's and things like that just because of the, what's happened in the past and stuff like that. But when it comes to this type of thing, I just think when Ashley, when you sent me your thing, I was just like, okay, this is a no-brainer. Like, this is something that's like for death. This is a child. This is a kid who needs help. This is something that somebody could do that could save a life, that could help a family, that could do big things. And there's a couple of things though that go into it. Like, we said that UCLA will do the testing and stuff for free if someone can make it out there. So if you're in California, UCLA will actually do all the testing to see if you're matched. But if you're not in UCLA, if you're somewhere in the country, you have to go to your doctor. What's the process of getting something like that checked to see if they're a match?
Yeah, so you have to be between the ages of 25 to 50. You have to be at type A positive or the universal O. And you can be located in Canada or the United States. And all laboratory work can be done local to you. UCLA will cover those fees through our insurance. And then I reached out to them. Awesome. And then all medical related donor expenses will be covered by my insurance. And then my husband and I are willing to cover the travel and lodging expenses.
Will Chick-fil-A be part of that?
I'll throw in Chick-fil-A.
or like In-N-Out Burger. The guys knows a bunch of big places. I know that's jokey, but that's a big thing, and it's a big ask. But that's an amazing thing, because the fact that your insurance will cover the testing, because we weren't sure about that before, right? We were like, it's going to narrow the window if people have to come out of pocket for this, because I know the U.S. has really expensive healthcare, right? In Canada, it's different. I don't know. I might just go get checked, even though my kidneys are full of stones. I don't know if you get kidney stones.
I'm not sure.
I might just go check. I don't know how it works, but my kidneys are useless. So I think it's a really important thing, and there's a lot of people that follow this channel, and if you're out there and you feel like you could possibly be somebody who could save someone's life, this will not come into your pocket. Everything's going to be covered, and you could save a life. And so that's why I brought Ashley on to just tell the story. What's his name?
Dean Baker.
Yeah. And Dean Baker is 13 months old, and how's he been dealing with this? Is he developing normally, or how's this all working in your family? So
it was pretty unexpected. I had a really rough pregnancy. Unbeknownst to us, it was because his kidneys weren't developing. And so about 3 weeks after he was born, he was rushed to the emergency room, and he had to be resuscitated because he was very sick, and we didn't know why. So that was kind of the beginning of our journey. His health has just drastically declined since. And then at 8 months, we started dialysis, and I went through training to be his at-home caregiver. So I give his dialysis to him at home nightly. And we have nurses and physical therapists and everyone that comes to our home because he's compromised. So we're looking forward to the surgery because life will be a lot different. We're looking for a live donor because the longevity of those kidneys from a live donor lasts for about 25 years. So he'll need multiple kidney transplants in his life, but the first one going through development is the most important.
is obviously for developmental stages of that. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for telling the story. And Dean, he's a fighter, and I really appreciate you reaching out to me. And I know some people, you know, I don't know. I think everybody should take something like this on, and anybody out there has something similar. I'm happy to use this platform in any way possible if that's going to help a kid. So if you are out there and you got, you said A positive? Sorry, did I get that right?
A positive or universal O.
Which is A positive or O blood. If you know that, if you don't know that, and you are interested in helping Ashley, there is going to be a link below in my description box, or you can reach out to me on Instagram or email josh@thedadchallengepodcast.com, and I will forward anything forward to Ashley. Is there another way that you'd like publicly people to reach out to? Is there a way, like, is there an email or something like that we
I
can
can
put on
give
the
you my
screen?
email address. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there something you're willing to share on this video right here?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
My email
She's going to
address.
share that with me, and I'll put that at the bottom here so you guys can email her directly. And that's good. So if this is something that's kind of hitting your heart and you feel like you have the ability to do that or to get tested or whatever, we would really, really appreciate. I'm sure Ashley and family obviously would really appreciate you doing that, because you could literally save someone's life. You'd be a hero, and that would be amazing. And so if you're watching this and it's hitting you like that, I encourage you, please reach out to Ashley, reach out and see if you can help in any way. That would be really, really cool. So yeah, thank you again for telling me your story, and I really hope this works out.
No, and I appreciate your time and the voice that you have on your channel, and all the laughs that you've given myself and my husband this last year.
I love it when husbands and wives watch together. It's like my favorite thing ever. But
he pretends he's not watching, but I hear him laughing in the background.
Oddly enough, that's how I got into Handmaid's Tale. My wife's watching it, and I'm like halfway, like, what is going on in the show right now? And now I'm completely hooked. But thanks for reaching out to me. And anybody else out there who's struggling with this type of thing, or if you know, if you're struggling like Ashley or did, maybe even reach out to her with some encouragement. That would be amazing. You know, anything. I'm sure she'd appreciate that kind of stuff. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about Kay and Tay again. So I did my video about them when they had the interview with Matt and Abby, and I got reached out to by a source that's close to the situation. That's as much as I'm going to tell you. And boy, did I find out some stuff. So Kay and Tay are not going to like this video. So let's get to it. So first things first, when I dive down a channel like this, you got to take a look at their stuff and how big they are and how much money they're making. And they've got 9.3 million subscribers, and they have no business having that many subscribers. They're not funny. They're not cute. Her face is weird. Her chin's too small. And they literally did that by exploiting a pregnancy in a child, and then obviously keeping hidden the other child. Oh, and wait till you find out what I found out about that whole situation. OMG. Get ready. So one thing I want to do first is really just do some corrective things. So if I were Taylor, I'd probably do something like this. This is like her normally, and the space here is just a little too small. So just all you have to do is scooch it up a bit. Just a little bit, and then, you know, just make the eyes a little bit smaller. There we go. Now you look normal. Just thought I'd give you a little tutorial on how to look not weird, you weirdo. People say she looks like Cindy Lou Who. I'll let you be the judge. At least Cindy Lou Who looks normal. So I don't see it. But anyway, all that to say is that these people have exploded online. They make a lot of money doing this. And on the interview, they came across like a sweet couple who have no hidden skeletons in their closet whatsoever at all. And they're just, this guy Taylor is obviously capitalizing off his wife, and she's capitalizing off the pregnant. Well, they're both capitalizing off the baby. But like, she's trying to be a thirst trap, and I don't see it unless you have a kink with weird chins. These types of people will stop at nothing to gain fame and money, and they don't care what they have to do and who they have to exploit to do it, right? And I remember in the interview, this is what pissed me off about Kay and Tay, or Tay and Kay, whatever you call them. She got to tell her story, and basically threw her first kid's dad right under the bus by saying he's violent, this and that, and that we fought a lot and all this kind of stuff. And she basically painted him as the guy who's got problems. And you know what? Maybe he does. I don't know. Okay, that really pissed me off because that guy doesn't have a platform as far as I know. I don't even know who he is. Okay, he's not on the internet exploiting his children or talking about them or bad mouthing them. But these people are doing that. And this guy Taylor, he's complicit in this. This guy was in the military. Like, anyway, all that to say is it really making me angry because they get to paint themselves in the light that they want to paint themselves in, right? They get to tell you how sweet they are, how amazing they are, and how incredible they have it all together, and that he's a nice guy and everything else. But if you go over to the Tay and Kay Reddit forum, there's a bunch of posts that's kind of alluding to what I'm going to tell you about right now. But basically, this one's called Mr. Sassy Pants and says, does every post require a backstory? Like, how odd. So someone's throwing shade at them because they always tell backstories. And this is what Taylor wrote. Listen here. I do this for several reasons, one of which being for people who are cognitively impaired. If they have trouble following some videos, they can read what is happening in the video's caption. How odd do you care about the caption of an Instagram video? No one forces you to read them, and I separate the caption and do backstory, so you can stop reading the part if you want to. You're giving insufferable. Now listen, Tay, why don't you just relax a little bit, buddy, okay? You're too skinny to be acting that tough, all right? Never skip body day, understand? And people are like, you're giving insufferable. Like, this guy's in his 30s, and I guess he gives his backstory to people who are cognitively impaired. Okay. So this one's called Sweet Home Alabama. Says, I guess it took double the time yesterday because you likely had to pull over and watch your biopic from DCP. They both look so trashed and frazzled today. His hairline, though. Hey, come on now, guys. That's no, I don't care. Make fun of his hair. He's got the same hair as me, so let's do it. He's definitely going to get hair restoration. They do look frazzled today. I definitely think it's more than just the stress of road tripping with a baby. Yes, I dropped my video on them, and obviously they watched it. Of course they did. And they're going to be watching this one. And yes, Taylor, what you think is about to come out is about to come out. And as I was going through the rest of it, I just realized that like every day they post like 3 or 4 times a day about absolutely everything, including everything about her body and like all the things that she's going through and her nostrils that look like this and her chin. It's just too low. Okay, your mouth is too low. Where's the other one? This one popped up. It's called Creep. And nice head, by the way, buddy. Just maybe you need a head transplant. And basically this came up and it didn't surprise me because there's people in the snark forums tend to sometimes be onto something even though they don't realize it. There's something very strange and uneasy about this guy. The hair, for one. It's just speculation, but he gives me secret rage vibes. Like he strikes me as a very angry person behind closed doors. I'm not sure why. Something about him feels off for sure. Now, Smelly Cat 69, I think you're onto something. I totally agree with you. He seems very controlling. Same, he's a former military, so I'm thinking it could be definitely some PTSD, control and rage issues. Again, he probably was there, but I don't think he saw action. Again, he probably peels potatoes and cleans out the latrines. Trust your tuition, someone says that. And I'm going to agree with you on that one. He kind of just looks like a pencil eraser. That's awesome. Looks like my gay aunt. That's interesting. Definitely something off. His infatuation with his wife acting like a child makes me sick to my stomach. Looks like a creep that needs to be on a predator list somewhere. He does give me, in a real way, sinister vibes. There's something genuinely scary about him. Look, I've never seen any of their content except the interview with Matt and Abby. Okay? And so these people are feeling this some kind of way, right? He reminds me of that creep who tried to say he killed John Benet Ramsey. Wow. Effing Mr. Peanut Head. He kind of looks like a Q-tip. Maybe him and Matt will run off into the sunset someday. The way he baby talks says sweetie is cringe. The caption I expect on this photo is lonely serial stalker assaults women on public transit. Okay, all that to say, guys, I saw these posts and I thought, man, that's interesting. Because my insider source sent me this. Now, this is Dudley Taylor Daniel, which is also Taylor Daniel Dunn. His name is TDD. We're going to call him TDD. Taylor Dudley Daniel, okay? He absolutely plays with too many Legos. He has so much toe jam. The doctors are like, what? What's going on? Like, he's nasty, okay? He's just a weirdo. But also, he was arrested for domestic violence in the 3rd degree harassment. He was arrested in January 27th, 2019, this is 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, at 5:20 a.m. He was held until the next day at 5:23 a.m. So he was held for a 24-hour period, and he got out in good bond. I don't know what that means, bond amount $300. So someone bailed him out, I guess. And this is he was a pretrial inmate. Now, this is all I know about this so far. Now, I'm sure a lot of you people who are following these, maybe you can go find it, Because I don't know, I'm Canadian, I don't know how I can find these records, but I would like to know how this trial turned out, if there was a trial. The person pressed charges. So it seems like those people who are a little bit like, Taylor gives me weird vibes, that's because he's a domestic abuser. He abused whoever was pressing charges, probably his ex-wife who cheated on him, I guess he said there. I don't know, maybe this was Taylor. I don't know when they got together. I don't know anything. But now I'm sure you sleuthers are going to go find out. My source was so flabbergasted that nobody has found this yet because it's public record. So Taylor Daniel Dudley, welcome to the show. And it's appropriate that the toilet flushes at that time I said that because this guy's a toilet person. So yeah, he was arrested for domestic violence in the third degree. And if you want to know what that means, according to womenslaw.org, a person commits domestic assault in the third degree is a person commits the offense of domestic assault in the third degree if he or she attempts to cause physical injury or knowingly causes physical pain or illness to domestic victim, as the term domestic victim is defined under section 565002. The offense of domestic assault in the third degree is a Class E felony. Wow. So everybody getting weird vibes from Q-Tip head over here, you're onto something. This guy, and I'm not saying every military, I don't know, I know some people in the military and all that kind of stuff, and all the guys I know in the military are salt of the earth, incredible dudes. So I don't think it's a military thing. I think he's just a douchebag, okay? And it's odd that Taylor finds another guy who she claims her first husband is like. Right? So she went from one guy who she claims is a domestic abuser, blah, 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 all those kinds of things, who said they fought all the time, to another guy who also is a domestic abuser. So when they put across that they're all happy-go-lucky and their life is perfect and everything else, even though her chin's weird, they put that forward. That's a damn lie. This guy is, if you've been arrested for hurting your spouse or someone that you live with, nope. I would never, ever lay a finger on any of my never. It's never even crossed my mind. I would never, ever do something like that. Violence isn't the answer. I don't spank my children. The punishments are like, you don't get a freezy today. Like I went the other way because I got my ass beat so much when I was a child, and I just don't think violence is ever the answer. Now, have I been in a couple fights? Sure. A couple times, right? Growing up, been in fights, been stupid young, play hockey, all that kind of stuff. I've been in some fights. Right. And I just honestly, I'm ashamed of all the fights I've ever been, even as my adolescence, because there's just no reason. But I'll tell you this. I will still get crazy if you want to like hurt my family or come at me. Like I'll still do some stuff, but I will never, ever, ever hurt anybody close to me. If you have the ability to hurt someone that's close to you, likely even someone that you are married to or whatever, like that's crazy. And I'm pretty sure the Kay and Tay fan base should likely know this before you give them the social media currency, that what they're putting across is not true. This olive oil looking dude is absolutely a domestic abuser, and it's proof here. And I'd like to find out, and we're going to go down the wormhole, maybe find out how that trial went, if there was a trial, did he serve any time, and all that kind of stuff. But there you go, Taylor Daniel Dudley. You're a jerk. And you're a douchebag. And those people who are giving you the views, you should know that you're supporting a domestic violencer. Whatever that is, DV assaulter. What a dickhole. Okay, and that's not it, everybody. Oh, get ready. So the person I was talking to, actually there's a couple of people that I was talking to in this whole thing. They reached out to me after my video. They said, look, I know some inside information. I'm not giving my sources. They want to stay anonymous. And as you guys know me, I will never, ever, ever give up an anonymous source ever. Now I know Kay and Tay here are probably going to be looking for everybody. Who did you talk to? Who was it? You're never going to find out who it is. It's not how you think. I promise you that, but you're never going to find out. And there are many people who hate you because you are assholes and you are not who you portray to be online. So the people who are closest to you, think are closest to you, are the ones who hate you the most, just so you're aware. So anyway, all that to say, I was like digging in a little bit deep. I was doing some text messaging with this person. I'm actually texting them right now. So I asked where it was. This was in Trafford, Alabama, where this guy was arrested. And so it was eventually expunged from the record. So it's very hard to find anything on it. We're looking into it a little bit more. So that's what I've just found out since. I'm actively speaking to this person while I'm doing this video with you. And I think that's awesome. So I just got to talking with them, and clearly I'm not going to tell you who they are or a conversation, because I'm not like that. I'll never be that way. So there's a couple things I want to clarify that people might not know that she didn't say. Obviously, Kay is a first daughter, and we'll name that person Kay as well. We're not going to say the first name because we're not going to do that. But Kaylee has never lost custody of her daughter. She's always had joint custody. So it's not like they fought and like he won in the courts. It's just an agreement that they had. But she signed the papers that said that Kay's dad could have basically almost all custody of her. So she signed basically her rights away. That's weird, right? But then she chose to move away from Oklahoma to be farther away from her only child, which is, to me, I don't care who you are, you don't do that if you love your child. You just don't do that. Why would you move away so you can see your daughter less? Are you out of your mind? And then try to come across on TikTok and YouTube and everything like you're some kind of great mom? You're disgusting. And it gets worse. I promise you it does. So she moved away from Oklahoma to Alabama, which is, I mean, I don't know where that is. Pretty far, probably. And she barely saw her daughter so that Taylor, her douchebag of a husband, could go to the school in his hometown. So he basically made Kay leave the zone where her daughter was to go where he wanted to go. It was like a selfish act. And then in the video with Matt and Abby, she's like, oh, he loves he. Oh, yeah, does he? So it looks like it. And so when he finished school, he could have chosen a job in Oklahoma, but instead, nope, we're going to Texas. And to this day, Kay still has joint custody of her daughter, obviously, but they choose to live away from them. Very telling, considering they make millions of dollars online and can live anywhere in the lap of luxury, by the way. And according to my source, they were both crazy. So Kay and her ex-husband were both super crazy, which Kay actually, you know, you have to give it to her. She did say that in the podcast that they were basically both crazy. But my source also says that her ex is a great dad to Kay and loves her very much and doesn't want her on the internet, which is what we all thought anyway. And it's not like what Kay said was like, well, she wants to be on the video. She can't. No. The dad does not want her on videos. There's no court order though, but I got to give this to Kay as well. Another, you know, ding, ding, good for you, Kay, is that she will not show because the dad says he doesn't want her to. So there's no court order, but she's just respecting his wishes, which good. That's actually awesome. In 2017 though, however, she did file for custody of Kay to try to get her, but that didn't pan out. So basically she had her for some summers and some holidays, but for the most part, her daughter lived with the dad and has been with the dad, and it's probably safe. It's honestly better off anyway. So now I want to get into something a little bit more spicy that just really, really, really goes to prove that Kay absolutely is a terrible ass person and mother altogether. Okay, completely a terrible asshole. So when it comes to Kay and Tay's wedding, remember they talked about how they didn't have any money, they were poor, except they had like 30 grand lying around. They went on like a years long backpacking vacation, spent the 10 grand that they had left over. That wedding, by the way, that's Kay deciding not to have a big wedding, which she said in the video, so that they can go on vacation. So they didn't do a big wedding. But here's the craziest part. She did this wedding kind of on a whim, but guess who wasn't at her wedding? Her daughter. Her daughter wasn't at the wedding. And so as you can see here in this photo of their wedding, who's missing? It's odd. And I know I've blanked out the other minors' faces here, but her daughter didn't go to her wedding. And apparently, if my source is correct, and you guys have to take this or leave it, because I'm not gonna, there's no way you can corroborate it. She promised her daughter Kay that she could be a flower girl in the wedding, and then just got married without her daughter there. Who in the F, who claims to be a good person, and tells your daughter that you could be a flower girl in the wedding, and then doesn't even invite her, doesn't have it, just has a wedding on the whim and just leaves it? Apparently it was on a weekend, she just didn't have her. And it's not the dad who said she couldn't go. That's not the case. And if it was the case, why not just get married on the weekend that you would have her? Because that, isn't it important that your daughter is at your wedding, Kay? Isn't that one of the most important things to you because you love your daughter? Forget even the promise of the flower girl thing. Why is your kid not at your wedding? Are you, that's giving Tay vibes. Or yeah, it's giving Taylor vibes. Did Taylor's mom here not want her at the wedding? It was just some kind of drama. Like it seems like this is her side here, and this is his side. And you got married without your daughter at your wedding? That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And again, the reason why it pisses me off is because Kay comes across like she's such a good man. And she's like, oh, I love my daughter. I didn't hide her from you. Like she literally didn't go to your wedding. And apparently, again, trust my source or not, it broke her daughter's heart that she couldn't go to her mom's wedding. Isn't that disgusting? Uh-oh. Got some more news while we're talking here. Oh, what? Oh my gosh. Just got some more news. Hold on. Just getting it. I've also got one of my mods who is in the military-ish and has husbands in the military asking about Taylor's service. And technically, we cannot figure out what happened. If he was kicked out, was it honorably discharged or dishonorably? We don't know yet. We're looking into it. When we find that, we will let you know as well. Like these people they have so many skeletons in their closet. And the fact that they went on that podcast and put themselves across like they were some saintly people with weird chins really gets me. So those things right there are two giant ass bombshells that they're never going to tell you, even though they're all like, look at our lives. We're like so raw and real. Look at our lives. And she just shows her flares her nostrils and does this every time she eats something. Okay, that's pretty gross. Okay, these people are not who they say they are. They're faking it. And so that means behind the camera, they're likely super aggressive and gross to each other anyway. And he already has domestic assault. He was arrested for it already. How do you know he's not still doing that? Right? I mean, I'm sure he maybe got therapy. There is redemption for people who do that kind of stuff. I get that. But general abusers tend to continue to be abusers. And not only is he an abuser, but she's an abuser too, by the way. Okay, so it's both of them are together and they've got this child now. And to me, that's a super dangerous place to be. Considering that they're faking everything on camera, so behind the scenes, it's probably toxic as all get out. Okay, but they got the patina that they're like, oh, look at us, we're all shiny. The patina of nice people, but they are really not. They're lying assholes. So I'm not gonna show you this picture, but basically it says this is interesting too. Taylor's ex-wife cheating and getting pregnant while he was deployed. It was talked about on Reddit, and Taylor himself commented on the Reddit to try to salvage their reputation because rumor has it that child is in fact his. Now again, it's rumor. Rumor has it. His ex with the son now. So there's rumor that he said that she cheated. It's not his kid, that it is his kid. So honest to God, does Taylor now have a child that he's not showing up for and being a dad to? Because if so, holy crap. This person says they knew him personally from Alabama and how he treated his first wife. Okay, if that person is on here, could you please reach out to me? If you know about him and how he treated his first wife, please let me know, because he was clearly he was arrested for domestic assault. So we have proof that he treated his first wife like garbage. But if he's got a child out there and he knows about that, that's really disgusting. So I just texted my source here. I'm getting into this. So basically on Reddit, we're gonna do another deep dive into this because I'm sure people will reach out to me now that they know, and people who want to tell their story. Again, I'm here for anybody who wants to tell their story from their past, because they get to tell on their 9.3 million person platform. They get to tell their entire story and put them across of how they want to be and who they want to portray themselves as to be, even though it's totally a lie. And so my platform is here. So Kay's ex-husband, I will lay it out for you again if you're watching this. Happy to have you on the show. Something tells me maybe there's some legal battles going on, and that he and this is generally happens. I've had so many, like Everly LeBrant's father, before he died, he wanted to come on the show, but then they started suing him right away. So as soon as there's an inkling that their channels could be like damaged from this, these people go sue crazy. They really, really do. I'm sure I'll get a cease and desist and I'll fart on it. But this is it. These are the people that you're supporting. These are the people you think are cool. Because even in my comments of that video, there are so many people like, I like Kay and Tay. Do you? Now tell me below, do you like him still? After finding out he's a domestic abuser? Are you still, and that she didn't let her kid come to her wedding after promising her to be a flower girl? Do you still like him? Or now is like the facade falling apart, right? This is what they don't want. The bigger you get, the harder you fall. That's just how this works. Okay? Especially if you have this many skeletons in your closet, why would you go on Matt and Abby and do that like you guys are really good people? If this guy truly has another child, does she know about it, or did he just lie? And if it's true, I don't know if it is. Again, I don't know if that's true. Did he lie to her? Like, it's getting crazy. Stuff's getting crazy. Kay and Tay are not going to like this video. Pay attention to their content after this, even though I tell you not to watch it, but pay attention to the content after this. Will they rebut it? And maybe you need to put some pressure on them in comments and be like, hey, can you address these allegations? Are you really this big of a jerk to your daughter? I hope people start waking up to the realization that these people who exploit children, who put across this facade of something, and I'm not just saying Kay and Tay, I'm saying all of them are like this. All of them are like this. So, like, stop watching them. It's fake, and you're trying to stack up against someone you can't be like. Although she probably wishes she had your chin, right? You can't be like this because they're not like this. Nobody's like this. They're fake. They're disgusting, and they're trashy parents. And he's a domestic abuser, and she is a person who left her daughter out of her wedding. Okay, to be a thirst trap on TikTok, which is she's not even. Okay, ew, nasty. So Q-tip head and tiny chin over here. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. I know you're watching. Do better. Stop exploiting your child, because this is only going to get worse as more people reach out to me. And I know you're probably you're going to be tempted to go be sue happy and be like, oh, you're going to start calling around who talked. You're not going to find out who talked to me. It's not going to be anybody you think it is anyway. But those people that you threw into the bus on Matt and Abby's show, especially Kay's ex-husband, like, that guy doesn't have a voice. And I am saying this again here. I'll keep saying it. Whatever your name is, Mr. Kay's ex, my channel is open to you if you want to come on and talk. If there are people from their past who know everything about them, my channel's here for you to talk. Even anonymous. I will never give an anonymous source away, ever. Okay? So if Kay and Tay start reaching out to people and get all Sue crazy, just laugh. Let them just waste their money on lawyers because they can't go anywhere. Because this is all alleged anyway, right? So you're not going to be able to know who my source is to corroborate this. You can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it or even. I choose to believe it. Well, I have the record to believe it of this guy being a person who abuses women, but and we have a record of her daughter not at her wedding. So those two big bombshells, they're provable. So just saying. Hope you guys enjoy this, Kay and Tay. Maybe on vacation or whatever. Enjoy this. Bunch of dickholes. Stop being so damn fake. Is it not tiring? Are you not tired of being fake on the internet? I guess not. You get paid that much money. I understand that. Also, this can't be corroborated, but they think that Kay only pays something like $150 a month in child support. Like, I don't know if this ex-husband knows this or not, but they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if like not millions of dollars a year. So I would revisit that in the courts if you have sole custody or like majority custody of this daughter. You're owed a lot more, by the way. They make bank. So I would take them to court, rehash this and say, look, I've got sole custody. I want to put money away for my daughter, for education. I mean, hopefully Kay's doing that anyway, which I doubt they are because they're going to fall and collapse anyway. This guy's a domestic abuser. Like, he doesn't deserve a platform, by the way. But it would be maybe in your best interest, ex-baby daddy, to maybe get what you're worth because you've been taking care of this child basically your whole life and you are owed that. So, damn, right? Jeez. Sorry, Kay and Tay. Sorry to ruin your day. Anyway, everybody, take a deep breath with me. I'm sure we'll find out some more, and when I do, I will let you all know. Let's see if Kay and Tay respond. You guys are incredible, amazing, valuable. Don't you forget it, and I will see you when I see you.